Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about myself as well as my purpose here on YouTube. Some of you have left me some questions in the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to be answering those questions in this video. First, I want to give a shout out, a very special shout out to my very much appreciated Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for your support over there on Patreon. You guys keep me going, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to get to know me on a deeper level, definitely think about joining my Patreon. There's 3 separate tiers that you can choose from, and it's an all-around great way to support me outside of YouTube. So I thought I would create sort of a Q&A video slash Who is Richie West video, just in hopes to give you guys a better understanding of who I am, why I make videos on YouTube, and what my goal is through these videos. So before we get started with the first question, I have something very special to share with you guys that I've been working very hard on. So many of you know that I have a candle business that I started a year ago called West Novelties, and it's my pride and joy. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning, and it's also helped me to leave an industry that started to affect me negatively. We'll just leave it at that. So I just want to share with you guys my 2023 Staycation Summer Candle Collection. Here they are, 3 10-ounce candles, and as you guys can see, there's a little jar of matches right here that come along with your purchase of a summer bundle. So what that basically means is when you purchase all 3 candles together in the bundle, you will receive a free jar of matches. And just so you guys know, each candle has a striker strip on the back of it so that you can actually strike and light the candle if you don't have a lighter. So hopefully those of you who do purchase the bundles will keep the matches near the candles, just so if that time comes, you can just whip out a match and light it up. Also, I do want to say that the correct way to light a candle is to use a match, just for future reference. And that's just because you kind of bypass the butane and the other harmful chemicals that lighters can give off, so just keep that in mind. But let's go over the scents. So as you guys can see, I have Western Skies, Tropical Nectar, and Coastal Vibes. Each candle represents something different to me, as well as a different vacation destination. And the reason I chose to name it the Staycation Candle Collection is because I know many of you, like myself, don't have the opportunity to travel so much during the summer because of work or other obligations that you might have in your life. So I thought the Staycation Candle Collection would be a perfect name because each of these candles bring such a wonderful essence to your space, and they make you feel like you're on a vacation even if you're at your home. So check it out, guys. On July 17th, the Staycation Summer Candle Collection will be available on westnovelties.com. I'm so proud of these. What do you guys think about the jars too? Let me give you a close-up really quick so you can see the labels. As you can see, I put the notes of each candle under the name of the candle, so it gives you a better understanding of what the candle is going to smell like. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to be more creative with the names of the candles. In past collections, I would name candles that were very indicative of what they were going to smell like, but I wanted to have a little bit more freedom this time around. Also, you probably noticed the clear jars and the wooden tops to the jars. So just so I can show you guys, these are wooden tops, and they do have a rubber gasket that goes around the top, just to give it an airtight seal when it's on top of the candle. But I really wanted to stick with a minimal vibe for this collection. I wanted something that felt grown up, but also packed a punch, if you know what I mean. All of these candles are created with love, and I hope to see you guys on July 17th for the launch of the Staycation Summer Candle Collection. So the first question is, are you fearful of losing your audience after announcing you're straight? Now, I wanted to answer this question first because I did receive a lot of backlash for one of my previous videos, And I think a lot of you guys had some questions that were left unanswered, and I think it caught a lot of you guys by surprise. So I just want to clear the air right now and say, guys, I am not straight. I mean, obviously, I'm not straight, but a little while ago I was kind of going back and forth in my mind with some of the experiences I've had in the last couple of years and just thinking about my life and what I want in my future. I tend to kind of put it all out there here on YouTube, and I'm learning that that's not always the best thing to do. So I'm gonna think twice in the future when I create those super personal videos where I share so much personal information about things that I've went through and things that have shaped me, because it is hard seeing some of those comments and seeing such negative backlash when I'm really just trying to share my thoughts and in a way reach out to the world and see if there's any other guys that are struggling in the same way that I was. So, and to answer your question, yes, I was a little bit fearful of losing some supporters after posting that video because I was just losing so many subscribers. I was receiving emails and it was just causing a lot. And one thing I've realized is that when I post videos that hit a certain chord with people, they tend to kind of blow up in that way, meaning I do receive such a large influx of criticism or just questions of like, why did I create that video? Some people even just tell me that I'm an embarrassment to the gay community or I should just stop making videos. And I don't let any of those comments get to me, but yes, just to keep it short, I was fearful of losing my audience. But at the end of the day, I know those of you out there that truly support me and truly believe in me are going to stick with me through all of it. So I thank you guys for that, and I hope that we can move on past that video. What do you plan to do if you find that you have feelings for another guy? Well, I don't really put myself out there that much. I did recently download Tinder again, and I've just been kind of scrolling on there and chatting back and forth with some guys, but I'm just at the point in my life now where I'm focusing on being the best man that I can be so that I'm ready for that special someone that enters into my life. I'm just going to make sure that I'm as prepared and comfortable within myself for that moment. Of course, I'm still interested in meeting a guy in the future that I could potentially share my life with, and the possibilities are endless when love comes into the picture. So I'll just leave it at that. What changed your mind and made you want to leave the adult industry? Well, for those of you that are new here, I spent around 5 years in the adult film industry, and it was my main source of income for a while. It was something that I spent a lot of time preparing myself for and, staying fit and staying active on social media and just making sure that I was like taking care of myself so I could still get work. And after a while, I realized that I was going to be aging out of the industry soon, and I didn't want to feel like I was kicked out. So that actually started about a year prior to me actually leaving. I tried to leave once, and then I kind of fell back into it. It's funny because when I fell back into it after trying to quit the first time, I worked with like super top tier studios and I got an agent and things just were like so amazing. Until I started getting this feeling of like, I need to be doing something bigger and better than this. Like, I'm better than this, and it's time for me to go. And it got to the point where I could not ignore that feeling anymore. I remember my last shoot, and I almost didn't make it there, but I had to due to contractual agreements. And the whole time I was there, I just felt like I was sitting around, I was just wasting time. There was just, so much more that I could be doing. So I got to the point where I told myself at that shoot, I already had 2 other shoots booked after this. I told myself, I'm not doing any more. I'm done. I can't handle this anymore. It was becoming such an emotional toll on me, and it started to make me feel different than I did when I first entered that industry. In the beginning, it was sort of a ego booster. It was like something that gave me confidence and made me feel powerful and independent. But then slowly it kind of morphed over into an uncomfortable and shameful thing that I did. So I'm not the type of person that can live with those types of feelings for too long because it starts to like eat me away and I don't have the best poker face. So that's basically what led me. And I don't want to get too spiritual, but I did also have a revelation one night. And I learned so much about myself in one night as I was watching a movie. It was like a download from the sky. I just started seeing all of these memories from my childhood and things that shaped me into making certain decisions, and it just made me feel like I had such a better understanding of myself. And for you guys out there that are 24, about to be 25, let me know if anything like this has happened to you, because in the last years, leading up to turning 25, I've had so many of these like monumental realizations about life and just kind of feeling like I'm actually coming into myself in a way, fully. It might just be because 25 is the age that the frontal cortex is like fully formed, but I don't know. You guys let me know. But yeah, basically I had a revelation, I had uncomfortable feelings, and I also wanted to be an entrepreneur. I mean, that's what I went to college for. I originally went to college to be a pilot, but then I switched to entrepreneurship, and I've always loved business, and I've always seen myself being a businessman and having something of my own to be proud of. That is what led me to leave the industry after 5 long years. But fun years. They were fun. I do have to say, great memories, great experiences, but that phase of my life is over. I do still, however, do OF and webcam shows, which some like to consider not leaving the industry fully, but in my mind and in my world, I feel so much more comfortable doing what I do now as opposed to what I was doing before. Do you still maintain friendships with anyone in the industry? I really don't. I only keep in touch with probably 2 or 3 people, and that's just being friends on Facebook. Like, we don't really chat that much back and forth. I also have a friend on Snapchat. But overall, the adult entertainment industry is just not that kind of industry where you're going to meet lifelong friends and coworkers and colleagues. It's just very cutthroat. It's very every man for himself. And I sort of knew that when I entered it. So that's that. Do you have brothers or sisters, and what do they think about your old job? I do have one sister. She is 4 years older than me. Her and I have always had that little brother, older sister kind of complex. Those of you out there that have older siblings probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but I love my sister. We do have a good relationship. It's not amazing. It's not like over the rainbow, but we do keep in touch, and she has voiced her opinions on what I do in the past, and I think she's come to realize that I have a bigger picture that I'm working on, and I was never going to stay in that industry forever, but she sees how it has helped me and where it's gotten me. So I think not just her, but even my parents have such a better understanding of what I'm doing, and they feel much more comfortable with what I'm doing now in my life rather than what I was doing before, flying around the country and just throwing myself everywhere. So, yeah, that's the answer to that question. At the end of the day, I don't think either one of them would choose for one of their family members to enter the adult entertainment industry, but, that's just the way the cookie crumbled, and sometimes in life you have to roll with the punches. You have to keep it moving. You have to, if something happens, you gotta have a plan B, or if you get into something, you have to have a plan. I mean, every decision I make, I always have a plan, I always have a goal, something that I want to achieve or get out of any kind of experience. So that's what's helped me to, I think, bring a better understanding to my sister and my family when they ask me what I do and what I spent the last 5 years doing. What are some fun activities you like to do in Phoenix? Well, I love hiking, but it's been 115 degrees for 2 weeks straight, so I haven't been able to do that. I also love working out. I have to work out, actually, at least 5 days a week. If I'm not working out, at least 5 days a week. And it's usually more. I just at least get there 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. It's like my meditation. I have to take care of myself and feel like I'm exerting myself and breaking a sweat, or else I start to kind of feel like down in the dumps and not as motivated to do things and not as confident. So I love working out, I love hiking, I love taking my dog for a walk. I do love longboarding, but I haven't been able to do that in my new neighborhood for unspoken reasons. But I do love longboarding. I like road tripping. I like traveling to new places. I love making my candles, of course, and I love making videos. This is the longest job I've had ever in my life, and I have so much fun editing, and I think it's just such a great creative outlet for me. So those are some fun things that I like to do in Phoenix. But there's also great restaurants, there's great shopping malls, there's an aquarium, there's one aquarium. There's a couple zoos. But if you're ever thinking about coming to visit Arizona, come in like November, like after November, because that's like the peak weather season. So that's the answer to fun things to do in Phoenix. Next question. How do you imagine afterlife? I found this question to be very interesting, which is why I wanted to include it in this video, because I think a lot of people have different opinions on what afterlife is supposed to be like or what they want it to be like. And for me, I've always felt like afterlife is what you think of heaven on this earth as being. So wherever you enjoyed your life the most before certain things happened that led to maybe negative behaviors or harmful behaviors, or self-medicating, anything like that. I think the afterlife, or heaven for that matter, depending on what kind of a person you are and what kind of a life that you've lived, I think that heaven represents where you were your happiest on this planet. I don't think it's some Alice in Wonderland-esque place. I think it's more realistic than that. So my opinion is, if you're a good person and you don't commit any cardinal sins and you repent for your sins to whoever you believe in, and you do good for this world and you leave a good print on this world after you leave, I think if you do all those things, then you go on to live in your heaven. If your heaven is reincarnating and starting again on earth, that's your heaven. If your heaven is going back to when you were a child, living in the country and not worrying about taxes or bills or anything and just climbing trees and playing with your bow and arrow and just running through the forest, if that's your heaven with your dog by your side, that's what I believe. That's the heaven that you're going to get. Now, it's completely opposite on the other hand. Now, I believe if you were not such a good person and you didn't do good for this world and you caused harm and hurt, I think that your unhappiest memory on this planet or within your lifetime, I think that's what people will be led on to live in for eternity. It's kind of hard to explain, and I probably sound a little bit loony explaining this to you guys, but I hope you're understanding a little bit where I'm coming from. I do believe in heaven, and I do believe in the other one, which I don't even know if I can say that on here because I don't know if it's against the rules, but you guys know what I'm talking about down there. So be a good person, spread love, spread happiness, help people, help the world, and leave a good print on the world when you're gone. So the next question is going to be kind of touchy, and I know that, but I wanted to include it. Do you believe that you can be gay and Christian also? Yes, I do. I do. But I think being a Christian, being a good Christian, is knowing that a sin is a sin, no matter how you look at it. I mean, there are cardinal sins, meaning sins that cannot be forgiven. But I think everybody on this planet is a natural-born sinner, no matter how they want to portray themselves to you. We are born with iniquities in ourselves. So I've realized that in my life. Some people tend to be more naive and might think that, oh, everybody is just, a good person at heart. It's just the kind of life that they live and the things that they experience that shapes them and molds them into the person that they become. I agree with that, but I also agree that we are all natural born sinners and we have to put in the work to do good and to get ourselves as close as we can to God before passing. So I think as long as you have some kind of a spiritual belief and you're doing good in this world, I think God is very appreciative of that. So, yes, you can be gay and you can be a Christian. Next question. I'm in love with my straight friend. How can I get over him? I think all of us gay guys have struggled with this at one point. If not all, most of us have. I certainly have. And there's really no easy answer to this. I think the only solution is separating yourself slowly, because it's probably never going to happen, and it sucks to hear that. And there are movies out there that put these narratives into your head and make you think that, oh, maybe this could happen if I push myself onto him a little bit more. Don't do that. Do not do that, because that makes people feel uncomfortable. It's also not something that any person of a sound mind should be doing. You should be able to read context clues, even from your best friend who's straight. If he flirts with you a little bit, and you flirt with him a little bit, and it's all in good fun, it's all just playful, then gradually get a little bit colder and see how he reacts. It's really just objective to every relationship or friendship. For me, when I fell in love with my straight best friend, I basically started separating myself because I didn't want to be uncomfortable around him. I didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable around me. We still hung out, but gradually it was like every other day, and then it became like once a week, and then like once every couple weeks we'd hang out. So just slowly like that, because once you realize that you do love your straight friend, or best friend for that matter, you realize that you have to kind of leave the friendship, because it's going to make it awkward and it's going to make it weird for the both of you guys. And to avoid any problems in the future, I think it's best to, separate yourself, but also maybe in the future share your feelings. If your friend messages you one day like mine did, hey, I never knew what happened between us, but I hope you're doing well, all that. I did tell him one day, and after I told him that, we haven't spoken since. So there's a certain level of relief that comes with expressing your feelings if you have been keeping them hidden for so long, but also do it in a smart way. Think it through. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be made fun of or bullied or anything that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, because it's just not worth it. So I hope that answers your question. Don't force yourself onto him. A lot of people think you can just do that, and it's inappropriate and it's not right. So read the context clues. Next question. This is actually the last question too. Have you ever experienced a situation in which you realized how lucky you are? This is such a good question, isn't it? I mean, who thinks of asking someone that? Without going too far in depth with what happened when I was a teenager, I was a troublemaker as a teenager, and I always hung around older kids that were like my sister's age and older. And I had no business hanging out with these older kids, but I always felt cool around them. I felt like I understood them more, and I could just put up with them easier than I could with people my own age. And that led to a lot of problems, but I ended up getting in trouble with the law when I was 14, and things could have went horribly, but at that moment I knew that I had a guardian angel on my side, because as soon as that happened, I got back to school after being suspended for however many days it was, and I ended up taking all honors classes the next year up until the end of high school, and I did college classes, half days, senior year. I got into my dream college, and none of that would have ever happened if I didn't get in that trouble when I was a freshman. From that moment on, I've had so many close calls and really dangerous experiences that could have turned out very badly, but I know that I have a guardian angel that protects me from those things. But I also know that I have to put myself in safer situations. So, such is life. You learn as you go, and you learn from these experiences, and it's important to appreciate those blessings and those miracles from your guardian angels. So, I'm very thankful that I got in so much trouble in high school. It was so embarrassing, guys. I was a freshman. Everybody knew when I got back. All the teachers knew. It was dreadful, but I got through it, and here I am today. So that is who Richie West is, guys. I hope this video gave you a better understanding of who I am, what my purpose is here on YouTube. My real purpose is to help younger guys like me who need somebody to watch and somebody to learn from, because that's exactly what I wanted when I was younger, before I joined the industry, when I was still in the closet, still in school, and just nobody liked me. And I think just holding on to a light within myself that I knew was going to get me somewhere is what got me to where I am now. So don't give up on yourself, guys, no matter how hard it is. It's going to be hard. That's what life is. It puts hair on your chest. It makes your skin thick. So don't be scared of a little bit of challenge in life, and just be thankful for all the blessings that you do have, because it could always be worse. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments. Also, one last time I want to show you guys the Staycation Summer Candle Collection, which will be available on July 17th. So next Monday. It's coming up. It's coming up. There are also tons of other candles from my past collections, as well as jewelry, just like this, and some other emblems that you can choose from, as well as artwork. So check it out, guys. It's a great way to support me and show your love to me, and I really appreciate each and every order. They make my day. So one day, West Novelties is gonna be a household name. You guys just wait. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.